So one of the things I was asked to talk tonight, guys, about, and feel free to add your own suggestions, topics, questions, whatever in chat, and I will come back to them. I've done a social media post recently. I've done a couple recently because it's been relevant about me sort of upping or amplifying my all this stuff, advocacy stuff, when I'm off sick. So I've been off work a couple of weeks. Got another catch up with the doctor tomorrow to see what's happening. I've come a long way, and my wife's done an awesome job of getting me back out into the world socially again. I've still got a few things to sort out. But people get very confused, and it's a very prehistoric view, isn't it? Where they get confused and think, well, if you can do a Twitch show, why can't you do X, Y, and Z at work? But not understanding that this is part of what keeps me well. And for a long time, a couple of years ago, I very much stopped doing everything that I loved, what kept me happy, what kept me sort of like a confident, outgoing kind of person. I just used to stop it all. As soon as I was off sick, I felt like I had to punish myself. I couldn't do anything fun. I'd stop playing guitar, like as if like having a migraine would stop you playing guitar, or a bad back would stop you writing. All these sort of things that I used to do just as part of my day-to-day sort of well-being, work-life balance sort of thing, I used to stop doing, which then would ultimately mean when I went off sick, I would then end up getting worse. It's just common sense. Yeah, so you would do these things, and they kept you well during normal times. So then you go off sick and you stop them, you're only going to get worse. And it took a lot of CBT, a lot of well-being therapy, a lot of pain management, counselling stuff to get me to work with the guilt. You can't get rid of that guilt. That guilt is pretty much going to stay, or it certainly does in my case. But you can work with it to stop punishing yourself and see the value in all those little things. Like I said to you guys on previous streams, me hanging out here, talking to you guys, is kind of my social life in this weird, messed up world we have at the moment. I'm not able to play sport at the minute. I'm not able to go out weekly and meet up with a group of blokes that I would normally hang out with a common interest. That stuff doesn't happen for me now because of my health deterioration, the pandemic, and treatments being sort of delayed, and all this sort of stuff that Snuffle's already sort of touched upon. So doing this is the only sort of break I get from being stuck in the house all the while. So why wouldn't you keep doing it? Because you're only going to get worse if you stop doing it. So yeah, we'll talk about that quite a bit tonight, because it is a common theme, and the amount of DMs I get, people who don't feel like they can even do an Instagram post when they're off sick. Well, why not? But I used to feel like that. So you're not wrong. You're not terrible for thinking that way, because I very much did for a lot of my life. It's only since I started doing the advocating and educating myself and trying to fill in the gaps in my knowledge and doing stuff like pain management that I realised the value of these things and why I do them. The same as writing, like why I felt guilty that I couldn't write something and post it on my Facebook page when I was off sick. It's just mad. Why wouldn't you do that if that's what people write diaries? The only difference is I'm pressing post or publish. It's literally the only difference. But you take those things away, those things that make up you as a person, that give you quality of life, that that you love, those passions. What have you got left? You might as well just lay in bed all day, and that's not a life. So I'd encourage you to try and work with that guilt. It won't go. I can't get rid of mine. Literally every day of these weeks I've been off, especially when my wife was taking me to Download Festival and this sort of thing. I felt like a terrible human being, but I also knew I had to get out of the house. I had to stop this bubble I've been in for the last 2 years that is contributing to my low mood and depression and my flares and everything else. You have to break that somehow. And if you're signed off work because of that issue, then if you don't do it then, when will you do it? When will you do it?